Hello, YouTube. Hopefully this works a little bit better. I'm sorry. Apparently the drivers were out of date for my microphone, or actually my capture card, I should say. So all those who tuned in a little bit earlier and couldn't hear any of the audio, that's why. But anyways, I just wanted to let people know about a couple of things that are going on. So I did promise a little while back that I would try to stream a little bit more regularly, but unfortunately, a couple of things happened. Fortunately, I went back to work. Great. Unfortunately, that caused a lot of problems because my schedule was a little bit all over the place. Plus, school started up again. And now, most importantly, we are back in full lockdown in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. We've been like that for, a little bit over a month now. And it's been something else, I tell you. Hey, it's great now. Thanks, John. So unfortunately, because of that, everything's been closed. It just means things are a lot busier around the house. But prior to that, I did manage to go out and get a couple of things. Thrifting. Unfortunately, my lifestyle now doesn't allow me to do the kind of thrifting that I used to do, like let's say even a year ago, when I was working at kind of out in the world and I would stop in at all these little nooks and crannies that I was familiar with. And I picked up a whole ton of crap. But it also meant that I had to sell a lot of stuff recently, just because, not necessarily for the money, although some of the money I made on things were quite fantastic. I ended up selling, I think about a year ago, I showed you guys a pile of records I got. It was an artist that I'm not really that familiar with, but know her peripherally, called Lights. Randomly found 39 copies of her first EP that was limited to 300. I did a couple of random searches on my phone, saw very few listings, thought, okay, you know what, let's just do it. I grabbed them all. They're only $1.50 a piece. I ended up selling those for between $300 and $600 each, and got rid of all of them as of October. So that was a pretty good score. I was quite happy with that. But that was one of those things that was totally intended to sell. There was no desire to keep any of that stuff. Although I thought to myself at one time I was going to keep one copy just as a bit of a trophy. But then when I saw, well, not really a big fan and I can get rid of it, decided to get rid of it instead. But anyways, before lockdown started, I did manage to pick up a couple of cool things. And the one thing that I kind of showed was this right here. Now, on its surface, it might not be that cool, but to me, it was pretty cool. So I've never actually played an Xbox 360. I played the original Xbox a few times when it first came out, but like I've said many times in the past, when the Xbox originally came out, I was in college and there was no way I was affording anything like that. Although I probably should have at least got a PS2, because I ended up spending, I think, $350 on a used DVD player back in the day. But this right here is an Xbox 360. It is the Halo Reach edition. It's the Slim edition, so not a lot of problems with the Slim edition. It came with the power supply. It also came with the two controllers that come with this edition, and 250 gigabyte hard drive. So immediately I thought, well, I'm not going to necessarily be collecting for a new system right now, but I would really like to get into the Xbox. So how hard could it be to mod? Well, it turns out it's very hard to mod. Most of the consoles that I've modded in the past, it's simply a matter of getting either a flash card, or you're getting like a software sort of firmware replacement or boot up. So PS3, it's so easy to mod a PS3 right now. I haven't done my DSs, although I should probably do one of my 3DSs, because I have quite a few of them now. But this system here, I thought, okay, let's just do it. So the first thing I wanted to do was upgrade the hard drive so I can fit some games on it. So I got an Xbox Series S 2 terabyte Seagate hard drive. It was designed specifically for that system, but said it could also work for the 360. So I took it out of its casing, bought a third-party shell for the new hard drive, just put it in, didn't read it, of course. Well, it turns out you can't do that until you actually mod it. So I did some research. Turns out you have to do a lot more than just install some firmware. You actually have to open up the machine. You have to install what's called a JP3 programmer, which allows your computer to talk to the actual console. You have to rip out the NAND, which is basically the profile of your system. You have to keep that separate. You have to create a custom NAND. You have to dump that into the system. Then you have to create you have to create rather, but then you have to install a glitch chip, which is another chip that you have to solder in, hardwire in. Once that's properly installed, you use this third-party software to make sure everything's communicating properly. You can rip out you don't rip out, you carefully desolder the JP3 programmer. And then if all works well, when you fire up your Xbox 360, it'll take maybe like 5 to 10 seconds longer than it should, because it's trying to glitch the system to end up dumping in that program, or the code, I guess, to make it open. Like, you can do anything with it at that point. The one main thing you really want to do is you want to install the Aurora dashboard, which I think is a much better looking dashboard. You do not want to log into Microsoft Live, because your system console will immediately be banned. And then you can install that 2 terabyte drive. So I installed all the games that I was interested in, particularly the Halo series, because I never actually played the Halo series, believe it or not. So I started playing the Anniversary Edition, which is a ton of fun. I haven't gotten that far into it because I actually ended up getting into Portal 2. And then, I don't really have a ton of time to play games in the first place, but the games I was getting into, I was kind of getting myself wrapped up in. So anyways, that is my Xbox 360. It is fully modded. It's not soft modded, it's hard modded. It's got a mod chip in there. You can do whatever you want. 2 terabyte drive. All my games are on the drive right now. I did buy a couple at thrift stores before they closed, but I also downloaded a couple as well, obviously, because some of the games that I wanted to play are far too expensive to purchase. So a lot of fun. I mean, there was no reason I wouldn't like the system. I just never got around to it. And I thought, well, at the price point, $29 for a complete system, and it works perfectly. I also did replace the thermal paste, so I don't have to open it up anytime in the near future. But yeah, really fun system. I don't know why I never got around to it. Don't know why it took me nearly 20 years, but it did. Speaking of 20 years, let's fire up this Dreamcast and let's just see who is out there in the world and see if we can get a game started. And who do we got in the chat? Hey guys, how's it going? All right, so here we are. We are going to fire it up. And the good thing about this time of season is that we're probably going to be able to play some quests that are themed around the holidays. So there's often my 3 favorite quests to do. The third-party quests are the Halloween quest, the Christmas quest, and the Easter quest. I think those are a blast. So let's just get in here real quick. Phantasy Star Online. And are we going to play the Eve's version? You know what? Let's just play the typical patcher version. Yeah, let's go Eves. Why not? It just makes life easy. So there's 2 ways you can play this game, obviously. The Eves just dumps the patch information into one file. You load it up, you play it, you're good to go. You can connect online, or you can swap, because the USB GD-ROM allows you to swap very easily disk between the patcher and the actual game file. So let's load this up real quick and see who we can find online. Again, it's been a little while, I have to admit, since I've played this game. It's not for the lack of love, it's just lack of everything else. Mostly time. Okay, start, continue, yes please, blah blah blah. And here we are. So we are at level 15. If all goes well tonight, we find a good crew, there's a good possibility we might be able to actually get up to level 20 tonight, which would be great. Okay, yes, and yes. Let's see what happens, folks. Yeah, so the whole no time thing, I think it comes from a meme I recently saw about the AVGN, who has not been really getting a lot of love lately. And again, this whole no time thing, and I completely empathize. When you got a family, it's pretty difficult to do anything. Okay, so who do we got here? One team. Oh, you know what? Altamira it is. Let's see who else is here. Okay, let's see what happens. Now, if we get lucky, we will... Oh, there we go. Merry Christmas. So we'll be able to play a quest. Da, 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 da. Planes need for a vaccine now. All right, let's say hello to our crew. Hey, all. Long time no see. Yes, it has been a while. Okay, well, thanks for coming back to me. Hopefully we'll be able to play a game, and I won't be such a ghost. Yeah, it's being crazy around here, and by crazy I mean boring domestic life. It's not too bad. Actually, speaking of AVGN, I recently saw a video, and I haven't really been paying attention to that channel for quite some years, that one of the main contributors just sort of unceremoniously left. And I've gotten into Reddit as well. I never used to participate in the Reddit community, and I know why. You can really kind of go down a pretty bad rabbit hole if you keep up with Reddit. But yeah, I started subscribing to some Reddit subs of old content contributors that have either fallen on hard times, don't do anything at all, or are well past their prime in contributing. And oh my goodness, it is addicting. So the one that I've been participating in the most is the Cinemassacre Truth, because I'm like, well, what's going on with that channel? And I read these threads and I'm like, oh wow, it is a lot of drama. Boring is okay, but I'm ready to get back to the real world. Toronto ON is back in full lockdown. All right, let's see while we're talking to these folks. Let's see who is on right now. So normal. Oh, you know what? Okay. Oh, he's in the Garen. Or maybe that's just the quest name, I should say. Okay, let's see what these guys are doing right now. Can't join the game. Quest is in progress. Okay. Organize a team. Join a team. Let's see who's right here. Quest is in progress. Okay. Organize a team. Join a team. Well, we can't do hard as of yet. Let's see if anybody's done the Christmas quest. Anyone done the Christmas quest yet this year? Not yet. Okay, cool. I always forget what the main reward is on that one. I'm still only level 15, unfortunately. All right, so why don't we jump into here, organize a team, create a team. Maybe some folks will join up with us in a bit. We'll call ourselves UGB, of course. And we don't want a password. And let's jump in. Sorry, I didn't really mean to ditch everybody in the chat. Hey, good to see you too. All right, let's see what is happening here. I bet you we'll have at least a few folks joining in. Okay, and we've got one person in now. Is this the same person that we have in the chat as well? It would be kind of cool to have two chat streams going. All right, and as you guys can all see, we are in a winter wonderland here on Pioneer. As far as I remember, there's also some hidden characters too. I think if you walk behind here, there's like a character stashed away. No, I guess not. Maybe inside the actual shop? I think I remember, or maybe it was a different quest. Maybe it was like the Easter quest. Okay, it doesn't matter. The first thing we got to do is we have to go and we have to get ourselves our mag back. Okay, take item. Okay, was it this mag that we were using? I believe it was. Yeah, probably that one. Okay. Take it. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, and I think we had it fairly... Let me see. Item. Mag. Okay, cool. Equip it. Mag. And we can't give it an item just yet. Okay, so I think we were doing pretty well with this mag, actually. And I think with the sync was also pretty decent as well. Alright, let's just see. What do we got here? Equip. Yeah, okay, cool. So it's synced at 110. That's because we jumped it back in the, dumped it back in the bank when we were done. I hate presents. I love them. All right, I think that was code for I have presents. What do we got here? Mono grinder, mono grinder, mono grinder, power material. Is that an early holiday gift? I used to say Christmas, but since I've been working in an office for the long time... Awesome. Okay, cool. So, item pack. Item. First thing let's do, let's use that power material. And the weapon that we have, item, equipment, panic rifle. So, okay. 15 with native animals. That's not too bad. I mean, we're only level 15, so I'm not expecting the world right now. But you know what? Let's just say we did and use these mono grinders. Do I have any more hiding in here as well? No, I don't think so. Because they are fun. All right. And we don't want to go back in there. Let's go to... Okay, well, maybe we'll see if anybody else... I wonder if anyone else will join in. Quests are always more fun with a full team. Okay, wait a minute. What are we waiting for? I can't remember how to send out global chats either. So chat, here we go. Simple mail, send mail. Oh, look at that. You can actually put your... I didn't realize that. Okay, so maybe you can wait for more people. Good idea. What you see is what you get. A guy that loves adventure. Cool. Wonder how you put in that information into your guild card. Guild card. My card. Write a comment. Here we go. www.youtube.com/ugly goblin boy. cool. I had no idea you could do that. My card. What's it look like? There you go. Learn something every day. Okay, cool. So we're gonna wait for some more people. Let me ask my friend here. How do you send global messages again? Guess we should put the shout out, although it's only a normal quest. So unlikely to get any heavy hitters on board. Alright, let's try this. Chat. Simple mail. Send mail. Just putting out a call. If anyone wants to help me out in the CC quest, or Christmas, I should say. And sure, okay, so let's see what else we got here. Simple mail, send mail. Just looking to get a few levels tonight. Bang. And do we know Cookie? I don't think we know Cookie, do we? Exit. Okay, send mail. What you see is what you get. Now, I don't know why they don't show me the levels there. They used to anyways. Okay. I'm going to go to the forest in the meantime and kill some animals. Okay. I'm headed to the forest for a bit until more join. And then maybe we will see if we can find a few more folks to jump in, and if we get a full quest, hey, let's do the Christmas quest. If not, maybe we could do the Christmas quest with just the two of us. Again, I'm pretty low level. My partner's fairly new to this game, so they might not be as familiar with it. And I can't remember if this is the one that has like a ton of like hidden doors and different ways to end it. There are a couple of quests like that. They kind of drive me a little bit nuts, but oh well, they're still fun. Okay, let's see if we can feed our mag. There we go. Okay, so what do we want to feed our mag? We probably want to do... do we want to do fluid? I can't remember. Because we really want to build up our mind, more or less. Let's see here. Monomate, soul atomizer, dye fluid. Let's see what happens. Yeah, it kind of likes dye fluid. Monofluid? No. Definitely likes dye fluid. Okay, and that's it. Hey, the IQ boosted up a little bit too. That's not too bad. Okay, let's jump in and see if we can tag a few things. Boom! We're actually hitting things. Wow. It has been a while since I can actually do some damage on some creatures. Alright, what do we got here? Telepipe. Don't necessarily need it. Oh, come on. Hey, get out of here. There we go. Bang. And boom, boom, boom. Wow, okay, we're actually not doing too bad. I'm enjoying this. It's fun when you can actually participate in some of this stuff. Whoa! Alright. That kind of worked. My partner is using an interesting technique. Boom. Okay, what do we got here? Anything we can use? Not really. Oh, Jaxer's joining. Now, we played with Jaxer a lot when we had our old characters. That's cool. They must be starting a new character because I don't remember them being level 11 before. Hey, we're just in the forest waiting for a full team. All right, sweet. Hey, glad to see you guys too. Okay, do we have anything we need here? No, 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 no. What do we got here? Anything we can use? Frame. Let's just see what it is. Maybe it's got more slots. If it does, perhaps we can use it. I can't remember what we're using right now. Item, equip. Okay, we've just got regular armor. What's this do? No slots. Okay, we don't really need it, but oh well. Alright, let's go through this door and burn through this level, and I think by the time we burn through this level, we should be able to find a full house to help us out. Oh, sweet. I'm actually not doing too bad. I'm very impressed. I mean, we are just on normals, of course, so I guess the expectations are pretty low, but regardless, I don't remember having a character that actually connects with folks in a long time, to be quite honest. It would be nice to get like a spread of some sort, like just get a needle and be able to score a bunch of XP and just kind of blast through everything, but I don't think it's going to happen anytime in the near future. Don't need any mono fluid. Okay. And bang, bang. New character. Alright, is this the way we came? No. Yes. Are we going backwards? No. This is the way we go. Ah, I wish my old one didn't get wiped, but it's done. Yeah, I really wish I had backups of that character. That would have been nice. Hanging in there. We are in full lockdown in Toronto. Yeah, I guess we are ready as we're ever gonna be. I think so. It's going to be low key this year, which I think is going to be low key for most people this year. I can't see, you know, most of the people that I know, like family wise, other than, you know, my kids and stuff like that. Like everybody kind of lives out of the city. And I doubt we'll be seeing anybody this year out of the city, or anybody's going to come to see us, just because travel's generally a pain and nobody wants to risk going out there in the world right now. Okay, anything we need? Just some Meseta. Hey, why not? Bang, bang, bang. We're actually not doing too bad connecting. I am loving this. It's so nice having a character that can actually do something. Even my old character, you know, I was at such high levels at one point. I think it was at like level 120 or something, and man, still couldn't connect. Drove me crazy. And I am trying out some new tech with this guy, which is kind of fun. Never been able to use tech before in the past. I'm not really sure how to optimize it exactly, but you know, we'll figure it out as we go along. So the one thing that is burning my brain lately is that Cyberpunk 77 thing. Now, everybody in the world has been talking about it on YouTube, but for me anyways, I was just like, I had no intention of getting it. At least not right now. Like, I mean, if it was ever on sale, let's see, on GOG for a couple of bucks, like maybe wait for the Game of the Year edition or something like that, I might get it. Why not? But those kind of games are just so big and all-consuming now that I just can't dedicate myself enough to them. I need to have quick pick-up and play games, which is actually like one game I've been playing on the Switch, Hades, is a lot of fun. I didn't quite understand it at first. I didn't really know how to play because they just kind of throw you in the game. But once I figured out the mechanics, I was like, oh yeah, this is like a really cool concept for a game. Like, it just looked like a regular dungeon crawler hack and slash. And you know, with those, it's pretty typical. All you do is you just run around, kind of, you know, break open chests and stuff like that, get more armor, get more weapons, special attacks, blah, 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 wash, rinse, repeat. But the idea behind it is, yes, that is a piece of that game, but there's really no ability to heal yourself. And once you're done, you're done. And because of that, you're always returning to the beginning of the game. And I guess the idea of the game is to just kind of see how far you get before you expire. And once I kind of figured out that, I was like, wow, that's incredibly frustrating, but at the same time, that's a really original game mechanic for this style of game, and I really am enjoying it. So that'll keep me busy for a little while in the very limited amount of free time I do have. But yeah, I've been more just following the backlash to that game, and it seems like such a, like, it's such a sign of the times. Like, I saw this happening with the 7th gen systems when I realized there's no point in collecting for systems like Xbox 360. There's no point in connecting for systems like the PS3 because those games were never finished. The second you put them into your system, there's always like a day one update of however much. I think the worst offender for that was, I believe, Gran Turismo 5 for the PS3. I remember when I first started that up, there was something like an 80 gig patch that you had to download. It took forever. Like, my friends and I, we all bought it. We were going to do some racing that night. It's going to, you know, just going to do our thing. And we couldn't even play that day because the patch took so long to download and install that by the time it was finished, you know, we were busy and moved on to other things. So yeah, like, I realized, like, pretty quickly, those games are all unfinished. They just rush them out, but at least they're unfinished in the sense that you can actually play them. But when I was reading about what was happening with Cyberpunk, where you couldn't even play the game on some of the base systems, and I guess the argument to that is that, well, you know, upgrade your system. I can see that, and I can appreciate that for what that argument is. And the reason I say that is because I'm always one of those people that, Force level 2, cool, let's do it. I'm one of those people that will always upgrade my systems to the next generation. Like, I heard there's a new Switch coming out. I'll probably upgrade to that, even though it's most likely not required. But you can do more with it. And I get the idea of hanging on to the older consoles because, you know, you spent money on them. And it seems kind of silly that you want to give them up and throw them away, but, well, I guess you wouldn't throw them away. Try and sell them, recoup a little bit of money, and move on. So I get that side of the argument too. Like, why should I have to upgrade? At that point, it's just more or less a new system. And you are very much correct in that. But, you know, also you got to understand that, you know, if newer technology's out there, people are going to use it. And I guess it doesn't hurt to kind of step it up a notch to the next model. if you can. Like, I also understand too, maybe not everybody is in that position where they can just buy a new console whenever they feel like it. And I know I'm certainly not in the greatest position to do that, but generally I'll figure it out somehow. But to not have it work on the base systems at all, like, there's one thing with having it choppy, you know, I think they were saying like up to 13 frames per second, which is absolutely ridiculous. And then simply like not boot up at all, which is what I heard was happening with the Xbox One base editions. I heard it just wasn't even loading, and that's just insane. And even for the PS3 or not PS3 rather, that'd be kind of funny. Even for the Microsoft Series X and the PS5, I've heard they've had a lot of issues as well. And I don't know if they've had anything for PC, but you know, it wouldn't shock me if there was. So I'm a big fan of GOG, like GOG, and I guess Project Red is associated with GOG in some respect. And I've seen them plugging that game for ages, and part of me was tempted to check it out. I was very interested in the trailer, but also it's just the reality. Like, I just realized, like, for me to fully experience that game the way it's intended, I'm just I don't think I can do that anymore. And because of that, I didn't really want to just, you know, waste my money basically. and to some degree, like, there's a little bit of stress that comes with having games on the back burner as well, I find. Where if you're not playing stuff and you got a whole bunch of stuff building up, sometimes you kind of get a little anxious because you realize, you know, you want to play something, but you don't really know what to focus on because there's just so much to choose from, and it can kind of get a little bit stressful, to be a little honest. It's a kind of stress that I think is very manageable and a little bit, you know, shouldn't say entitled, because, you know, there's a lot more people that have stress in their lives, obviously, that has a little bit more meaning and into it, a little bit more weight to it. But yeah, you can, like, I have a fairly sizable physical games collection, and most of the time I just pick things up. I'm like, I don't even know where to start. Especially when you start modding consoles and everything's just available on your hard drive. All you're doing is flipping through folders going like, all right, what's next? And, you know, I might put in something for a couple of minutes and then just move on. But I rarely dedicate any significant amount of time to any of those things nowadays. Okay, where are we going? Which isn't to say I wouldn't like to. It's just that, you know, different phases. Can't necessarily do that the way I used to anymore, and not necessarily sure that I would like to either, especially like nowadays. Just a lot of other stuff going on that takes up a lot of time, and I just don't have the endurance anymore to grind through a you know, 100-hour plus open world RPG the way I used to. I always go back to my default game, Fallout 3. I still love that game to this day, and I would love it if maybe I had a patch or something like that that would allow me to get past the level cap, just to kind of see what else I can do with the characters that I've created. But to go back in that game now and play that game the way I used to, holy smokes, that'd be something else. Like, there were times where, you know, I guess I can put this out in the world because it's ancient history now, but I mean, I would call in sick to work just to kind of play Diablo 3 or Fallout 3. Oh man. And we're not talking like when I was super young either. I was probably in my early 30s at that time. But regardless, they are a lot of fun. They can consume my life, and knowing that, I can't do it. Unfortunately, the same thing happens to a lot of hobbies I've had in the past, where I used to do a lot more with music, and I haven't really done that because for a while there'd be a lot of music projects that I'd be into, particularly using different kind of synthesizers and groove boxes and stuff like that. And when you start playing around with that, if that's where your interest is, holy smokes, those can eat up a lot of time as well. And for better or worse, I think it's better, actually. It just develops a skill that you can utilize that might be a little bit more transferable than just pushing buttons on a game, but yeah, I can remember just spending night after night after night just constantly playing with my various electronic instruments. And even when I was younger, like I really got into guitar as a kid, and unfortunately don't pick it up as much as I'd like, but I'm still not too bad. But yeah, it's one of those things where if you got too many hobbies, I guess it's really hard to dedicate any significant amount of time to one of them. Okay, is that gonna open up now? Did we come through here? I can't remember. I think we did actually, didn't we? Yes. Okay, so where do we go again? We gotta go back down and around. Anything in here worth taking? Maybe a frame, who knows? Probably not. Okay, let's see what we got here. Item pack. Equip. No, I haven't heard about Insignia yet. That sounds pretty interesting, actually. I wasn't aware that all of the online capabilities were off, but I guess it makes a lot of sense that they would all be off because that system is ancient at this point, and I guess it's just one of those things I never thought about. It's kind of like the PS2, you know. Of course those servers have been down for ages, but I guess it's also because I never got into the PS2 during its lifespan. I got into it way after the fact, and because of that, I've only participated in third-party servers. So particularly for Star Wars Battlefront 2, that was the big thing that I was getting into on the PS2 for live games. So that's still a lot of fun to play on. I was using Dracula's server, and it's really easy to connect, not complicated at all. And yeah, I was having a blast with that, but then I kind of put it down and really haven't picked up my PS2 since. I actually should probably finish modding. I have like 3, I think, 60 gig PS3s in my garage, and they're all backwards compatible. I ended up, funnily enough, my brother was working for a junk removal company for a short period of time a couple months back, and during that time he found a whole bunch of really cool stuff, and a lot of it was like old game systems. So of course, you know, he knew I was into that kind of stuff, and he just gave it to me. It's not like he's gonna charge me for any of that kind of nonsense. And I ended up getting a bunch of working PS3s, and all of them are the backwards compatible models. So I've already tested them out on physical games, but I would like to just mod them so that way I could, you know, just put everything kind of on a hard drive and set it and forget it. I ended up purging all of my PS2 games about, I don't know, maybe about 2 or 3 years ago. I had a pretty sizable collection. All of it was well after the fact. All of it was stuff I accumulated from thrift stores as well. And yeah, it was a decent little haul that I had. But it was a system that I really wasn't too interested in collecting for physically because it never really held any meaning to me. The only game systems that I ever really collected for, congrats, or kept up collecting for physically were the NES, which, you know, is near impossible. When I was collecting for it was way back in the day. Primarily in the late 90s, early 2000s, when you can walk into any pawn shop and get, you know, baskets of games for, you know, $1 a piece. And that was in a time when everybody wanted to get the new thing, and I wasn't particularly interested in the new thing. I played the Nintendo 64 at that time and wasn't terribly impressed with it. I hated the controller. I still hate the controller. Some of the games are fun, but I'd say there's probably about 5 games that I actually like playing on the 64, and all of those I can emulate fairly well on my Wii now. So I'd never get into that system to collect for at all. But again, that was like the game of that was the game of the time, and PlayStation was the game of the time. And then, you know, kind of also around that time, PS2 and Xbox and stuff like that started taking a lot of people's attention, and the GameCube and stuff like that. But anyways, nobody cared about Nintendo back then except for me and a couple of friends who were interested in collecting that stuff. So we would go to the 2 or 3 pawn shops that we had in our hometown, and we would just buy all the games, and we, like, it was easy to amass hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of Nintendo and Super Nintendo games for next to nothing. People were just giving it away. Also, like in yard sales, you can just go up to them. Nobody was looking for that stuff at that time, and you could just buy all this stuff for, $5, $10 for complete systems. And that's what I did. And I had tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of it. I ended up downsizing quite a bit. Just kept my core games that I enjoy. I think I have maybe about 300 games for the Nintendo that I ended up holding on to. And I still have my original system. I have a ton of different peripherals, but I primarily use the retro ABS console now. I don't use any of the first party stuff anymore to play on, just because it's an emulation board. I get it. It's basic, well, not emulation, it's FPGA based, but even that is just simulating. It's hardware simulating hardware, right? When it's FPGA, so it's not quite the real thing, but it's basically flawless. I have no problem. It plays better. It plays all my games that I want to with no issues. I've never had any problems whatsoever with that system. So that's pretty much what I keep when it comes to Nintendo. But I don't even really play a ton of it anymore, just because I've also got other ways that I can experience those systems. Like, especially if you've got an a Nintendo Online account. Okay, bang, bang, bang. Let's pick this up. Bang, bang, bang. Let's pick this up. Monofluid. Okay, can we get anything here that is of any use? Bang, bang, bang. Okay, is there any goodies here whatsoever? Okay, I can't really fit anything in my inventory either, so I'm not really going to stress about it too much. There's probably not a whole lot of good things to grab. Monofluids, who cares? Okay, we'll get some dye fluids when we go back to the shop in Pioneer 2. Oh wow, so they did a live stream of them actually using it. That is pretty awesome, actually. If it's something that could work for all original Xbox games, that would be a lot of fun, like to play the original Xbox, like Halo online. Now I wonder, is this third party? I'm gonna have to do some research on it and see if it's something that I need to actually connect to Xbox Live with. Now if that's true, then I probably won't do it. I've never really been huge on playing a lot of those kind of online games anyways, but I don't want my machine getting banned. Even though it really wouldn't matter one way or the other, but I still don't want it to get banned if I can stop it. Okay, anything here of any use? No. Okay, sell. How about this? No. Okay, let's get rid of all of these frames. Thank you. We don't use sabers. Okay, bang, bang, bang. Anything else? Okay, we can get some dye fluids. 10. Thank you very much. Anything down here that we need? Do we need a mono grinder? Oh, we don't have enough Maceta anyway, so I guess it really doesn't matter. Okay, thank you. Okay, item pack. Mag. Give item. Dye fluid. Give item. Dye fluid. Give item. Dye fluid. Okay. Alright, cool. We got a fourth. Oh, we got a third. Sorry. Eggnogs. Alright. What else? Oh, I guess we should probably heal up our character while we're here. Who cares? We'll be fine. Alright. Do we have... Okay, ice technique. Item. Okay. What other techniques do we have? Did we learn any? Level 2, lightning attack, TV4. Oh, hey. Wonderful, thank you. Sweet. Okay, let's go back here and see if there's anything that we can use. Okay, and item, caves. Perfect. Okay, so if I'm reading, so we should have something in normal attack, fire technique. Okay, so then what we want to do is customize. All right. Let's do this. Okay, cool. Should grab our higher level characters. Oh yeah, we would get slaughtered. Sure. Why not? I've got a bit more time tonight. I think a quest with our level characters would be there we go. All right, so let's not do that. An Xbox version of PSO. I didn't even realize that there was an Xbox version of PSO. I knew there was a GameCube version of PSO, which I played a little bit of. I was very impressed with it. Because I have the I have PSO for I basically just have the image on my Wii U, and I tried it out. I wasn't able to connect it online, but I didn't really do too much research on how to connect it online either. It looked fairly easy. It's just one of those things that I never took enough initiative to learn. Okay. Whoa. Well, that's pretty funky. Well, that's gonna eat up my TP pretty quick as well. Ah, nice. Level 16. Sweet. Sweet. Thanks. Okay. Let's see if we can feed our mag while we're thinking about it as well. Item. And mag. Perfect. And perfect. Level up. Excellent. Okay, that makes me a happy man. So, in between a couple of little games I've been playing here and there, like I said, that Hades seems like a lot of fun. I was tempted to get Among Us on the eShop. I've heard that's a lot of fun too, and that's supposed to be a really cool co-op multiplayer game. But I mean, it's only $6 Canadian on the eShop, but I just hadn't picked it up yet. I figured it's one of those games I probably wouldn't play that much right now. Although I guess the player base is probably its highest at the moment. And I was thinking, well, I'll just wait till it's, $2 or $3 on the eShop. But regardless, it's not even the money. It's just I know it'll sit there, and I probably won't really participate in it. So I haven't picked it up yet. But yeah, Among Us looks like it'd be a fun game as well to pick up. So to kill my time at the end of the night, I've really been kind of catching up on a lot of movies, actually, because it kind of allows me the opportunity to do things in the background while I'm getting other work done. But true to form, it's nothing to do with streaming. I'm all about that physical media. I'll mod consoles and put hundreds of games on a hard drive. But I'm still one of those guys that likes to have a Blu-ray or now I'm getting into the UHD territory as well, which is risky business because it's another upgrade. I think that'll finally be the final format. I can't see any physical media for film going beyond UHD, although I could be wrong. Like, I know they're really trying to pump like 8K televisions now, which, I guess that's the next step, but I haven't even really gone to the 4K television route yet. I've got a UHD player, I've got a 4K receiver, but I still got my Panasonic Viera television, which is 1080p, just because it's plasma. It's like one of the last plasma televisions that came out, and it's still fantastic looking. If you don't know, like, plasma TVs, basically, they were, especially with Panasonic, they made a fantastic one. They were pretty much the best TVs you can get at the time, and they still look great. If they're still running, there's no reason to upgrade. So, me buying UHDs at the moment is kind of silly because I can't fully experience them, but just sort of future-proofing my collection. So what am I getting? Well, let me just show you real quick here while we're playing our game. So this is actually something that was fun too. I ended up getting the Super Mario Game & Watch. You've probably seen it 100 different ways now online, and it's a good little time killer. But what did I get? So I got Rad 4K from Vinegar Syndrome on UHD Blu-ray. I got the Beastmaster UHD Blu-ray. And this is a fantastic case, by the way. I should just open it up. You open it up like this. It's got like a little book jacket. It's got the actual Blu-ray right here, and then it's got a full book on everything to do with the Beastmaster. I love the original Beastmaster. It's a fantastic movie. This one was a big one. Dawn of the Dead on UHD. This is the Zavi Media version, and it's fantastic. If you love this movie like I do, it was a bit pricey, but had to get it. It's got a full retrospective book that comes with it. It has another full book that comes with it. It has all 3 complete soundtracks. It has 5 other discs, all versions of the film. Dawn of the Dead is probably one of my most favorite movies of all time, and to get it on UHD is something else. The Blu-ray that was long since discontinued used to go for $100, but showing off his goodies. Yep, taking some time. Sorry. Finally, before we go back to the game, ended up getting the Friday the 13th box set. All films. Had to do it. Never was a huge fan of the franchise, but you can't deny the importance of the franchise either. And when I started to revisit it, I was like, wow, this is actually a lot more fun than I remember. The first movie's kind of a drag. It's just too slow, but you gotta watch it. And okay, where are we going? Straight through here. But you kind of gotta just watch it for what it is. And item pack, area map. Okay, there they are right there. Cool. And it kind of peaks around the last entry. Like that's the last one where Jason is still human. He's not a robot or a zombie. And I like those movies for what they are. Actually, the only Friday the 13th related film I ever saw in theaters was Freddy vs. Jason back in the day, and that was obviously a bit of a disappointment, but it was a little bit of fun to watch in a crowded theater back in the day when you could really only experience that stuff in a theater. So for what it was a lot of fun, but the movie is terrible. But it's included in that box set. And I even like some of the entries that most people don't like A New Beginning, some people don't like, and I enjoy that for what it is. It's got some good scenes in it. I also enjoy, I think my favorite by far is Jason Lives. That's a fantastic entry into the franchise. I think that's probably the best, actually, because that's right when you just kind of get the first introduction of what most people interpret the character as. And I'm using the term character very loosely because there's really no character of Jason. He's more of a force of nature, similar to Michael Myers. Like Michael Myers isn't necessarily a character, it's just a force of nature. Now that would have been a better, well, I guess they're not supernatural. If you had the original first couple of films Jason versus Michael Myers, original Michael Myers. Now that would have been a really cool versus movie, but you can't have zombie Jason versus Michael Myers. There was no contest, right? Like what could he possibly do? But I think if you had the first two, like if you had the shape and wasn't kind of the version that the sequels turned it into, where it was like a silly sort of like witch demon type thing. Just keep it for what it was, just this mindless massacring machine. And that's kind of what Jason is, right? So it'd be really interesting if you had both those characters face off. It'll never happen. I remember way back in the day they were contemplating what was it again? It was a Pinhead. It was a Hellraiser versus, I think it was like a really weird, I think it was a Hellraiser versus Michael Myers thing. And I used to be really involved in sort of the convention circuits. And I remember one convention, Doug Bradley, who played the original Hellraiser, was there. And I was helping out my brother, who is way more involved than I was. But, I piggyback along to all the after parties and stuff. But I can remember we went to this one after party, and I kind of had him cornered a bit. And, okay, do you want me to... Okay, should I stay? Should I stay here? I guess it doesn't really matter, right? Okay. All right, let's do that. Because I don't think I have to stand on that because that is the final one. Okay, here, this makes more sense. Okay, let's go. Bang, they hit the key. So I asked them, I was like, so are you going to do that Versus movie? And they said, yeah, like, not, but that was back in like 2004, probably 2005, maybe. That movie's never happening. And I don't think Doug Bradley's actually reprising the role of Pinhead anymore either. You know, those were fun times. I was never really big into the convention thing. I went to a few, and I think I was expecting more, but for me, it's some of the fans that go to those places, like they are a piece of work, I tell you. Just like, I think I'm a bit of a geek, and then I go to these conventions and I see some folks there. I don't mean to judge, but like it must make the people that are going to those conventions very uncomfortable, I guess is what I'm getting at. Just the amount of I don't know, like there's that level where you look at some folks that go to these conventions and stuff like that, and you realize that it's not healthy. You know what I mean? And when you get to that point, okay, should we? Okay. You kind of really gotta rethink a couple things. And when I say unhealthy, I mean like you could tell that people have sort of developed this relationship with some of the celebrities sort of in absentia, you know, like I don't think the celebrities are aware that these people have dedicated a lot of their time towards their lives, and they say some really inappropriate things and they act very inappropriately, and yeah, it's you know, I'm a very casual person, and I've never been starstruck by celebrity. The only time I've ever really logging off. The only time I've ever really back on button. Oh, okay. Met somebody that was kind of a celebrity and really oh sweet, we're in. Really got a little like choked up was probably like the first time, like, who would I say? It was probably like when I was really young. And I think I met, well, I didn't think I met, like, I remember really young meeting people like Alice Cooper and stuff like that, and like these are people that you shouldn't be meeting in real life. Like, they don't exist in real life, you know? But when I got older, and even at a young age older, I mean probably like my mid-20s, early 20s, I realized like, oh man, these people are just people. And they're just, you know, they do a thing, they're an actor, they're a musician, they're whatever, and they're having fun with it, but you know, it's to sort of put people on a pedestal like that, they're always going to kind of let you down, I suppose. There's been a couple of people that I've met where it's like, oh man, you are not a nice person. Okay, and monofluid. And let's use diamate. Perfect. One person I can remember in particular was I was at this one convention. I was kind of working there, and I had my buddy Steve, and we were taking some photos of us with people. Hope you like dragons. Oh, I love them. And you know, they always have like different kind of tiers of people you're going to meet, obviously, at these places. And the guy who played Leatherface, and the new Leatherface was there, Andrew Barinsky, I think his name is. And I can remember I walked up to him just like, hey man, how's it going, welcome to Toronto, blah 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 blah. And he kind of was just like, yeah, whatever. And I said, hey, can we get a photo? And he's like, yeah, whatever. So he gets up He's standing beside me. My buddy's trying to get this camera working because his camera was giving us a bit of problems. And I can remember him snapping at my buddy, looking at him, and being like, "Any fucking day now." I was like, oh wow, this guy is not having a good time. And I guess his girlfriend had just broke up with him, so he was a bit of a grousey mood. But regardless, wasn't really somebody that I ever held in high esteem or was even particularly aware of that much until that point. But you know, you meet somebody like that in person, you're like, oh, holy smokes, that is somebody that needs to work on their relationship with their audience. Item pack. No, I got an antidote, I think. Anti-paralysis. Antidote. Use. Okay. There we go. Perfect. Oh, wow. Okay. I think I actually had another disc that I should be using too. I don't know. Maybe not. Okay. Should feed our mag though. Oh, congrats. One of our teammates has a level up. Perfect. Okay, IQ is up. Sync isn't really going up though. I'm not sure if that's because I'm not feeding them mag often enough, but I think I'm doing pretty well this round. Oftentimes I completely forget about my mag, so... Oh, what do we got going on here? I'm going back to that earlier little thing I was showing off with the Nintendo Game & Watch. You know, it is what it is. It plays Mario Brothers, which is essentially all I was really interested in playing. The ball game is kind of fun, I guess, to kill some time, but I was never a huge fan of Super Mario 2, particularly the one that we never got here over in North America. I played it a few times on different systems, and you know, it's just too hard, and it's really difficult to play in that little handheld mode. So I've seen some people hacking it, and the way they go about it, oh my goodness, that's way too much work for what it's worth. That's all I'll say. They're cracking it open. They're having to hardwire in like flashers in order to dump the NAND and then reprogram it and all this kind of stuff. Way more effort than you really need for what you get out of that particular system. I think it has like, what, 1 megabyte of RAM that you can access? Like, that is insane. Oh, sweet. Recharge. But I have seen some YouTube videos where people are swapping out the RAM chip for, I think it's like 64 megabytes of RAM, which, you know, that'll get you quite a few games if you need to go that way. But also, like, the system in and of itself, like, just let it be what it is. I guess there's so many different ways to play, and I get it. It's not about the practicality about it. It's not necessarily even about whether, like, time really doesn't mean a whole lot to the people that are involved into that community, right? It's more about, hey, can I do it? And all the power to them. Like, these people are way smarter than I am in regards to doing this kind of stuff. But the system is so limited in what it can actually do. Like, to actually do those kind of upgrades and put that amount of work into it. And also considering you can do similar stuff on so many other systems, I just don't see myself ever modding the Game & Watch. It's not worth it. You know, any day of the week I can get a PSP 2000 or 3000 and have an excellent portable emulation station. I don't need to take apart my perfectly fine Game & Watch and start having to flash dump it and stuff like that. Like, that's just too much work for what it's worth. But it does look cool. It would be kind of nice to have it would be kind of nice if, from what I understand, Nintendo may, this isn't anything committed to paper or anything like that, but from what I've heard, for their 35th anniversary of The Legend of Zelda, they might put out another Game & Watch for The Legend of Zelda, which I think would be really cool, because I would actually play that. I really enjoyed the first Legend of Zelda game, and Legend of Zelda 2 is actually really enjoyable as well. I mean, these are old games most people have played, so they kind of either love them or hate them at this point. But yeah, that would be kind of fun to play on the go. A Final Fantasy original Game & Watch, if that ever existed, that would be absolutely amazing. I've completed the original Final Fantasy with every practical character combination you can think of. I'm not one of those people that's like, okay, I'm gonna use all white mages. But I've beaten that game so many times as a kid, and even as, you know, an adult too. It's a fantastic game still. It's a lot of fun. It's very simple, but it's a ton of fun to play. To the point even where it's like when I was a kid, I thought it was quite difficult. I really wasn't familiar with RPGs. I think when I got it, it's probably about, I guess it would have been about 10 maybe, whenever it first came out. And I can remember I asked for it for Christmas, and you know, we didn't really grow up with a lot of money, so props to my family for doing what they did. But I can remember my mother going into, in Canada, we have what's called a Canadian Tire, and they used to rent movies actually, and sell video games and things like that. They still might sell video games. I'm not 100% sure. I doubt it, but they might. And I can remember seeing my mother try to sneak this thing past me in the cash so I wouldn't see it, because, you know, obviously it was a Christmas gift and they wanted to surprise me. And the price tag on it was $88. That was back in like 1991, I guess it would have been. 1990, 1991. And I thought, wow, this is pretty fantastic. Thank you very much, Mom and Dad, for this game. And then I remember bringing it up to my parents, because they were always complaining about how poor we were growing up and stuff like that. And I brought up that particular scenario. My mother looks at me and is like, I would have never spent that much money on you for Christmas. I was like, that sounds a little bit more familiar. Hey, how's it going, guys? Nice image quality. Is that a VGA setup? No, actually. So, in case you're new to the stream and haven't seen what I've done with my Dreamcast over the last couple of years, I used to use a VGA box out to an Atlona HD 500 VGA to HDMI upscaler, and the image quality on that looked fantastic. But about a year or so ago, I ended up just deciding to go the full DC HDMI route. So right now I'm using a DC HDMI mod, which is a completely digital mod to my system. So it's a separate board, and it's a ribbon cable that goes all sorts of funky places in my Dreamcast and connects, and goes out to an actual HDMI output on the back that I had to unfortunately modify my case ever so slightly. There's a hole about the size of a dime in the back where the HDMI fits in. And so it's mini HDMI, and yeah, the image quality can't be beat. It's fantastic. So using that in conjunction with my USB GD-ROM, which at the time when I got it, there was two options. You can get the SD card, or you can get the USB GD-ROM, right? And the SD card was the one that everybody sort of touted as being the best, but it was constantly sold out. And this is way before the clones as well. So I went the USB GD-ROM route, and it's still a very functional way to use the equipment. Now, a couple years back, there was a bit of a controversy with USB GD-ROM because I actually posted a video of my system not booting up because it said that the firmware on my USB GD-ROM had expired and I had to get new ones. So I was like, well, this is kind of silly. Like, if you're telling me that the firmware has just got a time, you've got a data bomb on it where it's going to where it's just going to arbitrarily decide to not work at some point, and let's say that the developer quits supporting it, then what? Then I've got this brick essentially at this point. So ideally I'd like to get the mode, but I can't necessarily justify the price right now because it's going to cost several $100s, and it's something that I already more or less have. Like, it's a much nicer interface obviously with the mode. I don't have a Saturn, don't necessarily have a whole ton of desire to play a Saturn. Speaking of which, for the Dreamcast, or sorry, for the Switch rather, Panzer Dragoon was released digitally, but Limited Run Games actually did a print as well, and I ended up ordering the Limited Run Games physical edition, and that has been shipped finally. So hopefully I'll get that in my hands soon and I'll be able to play that. It's not my favorite game. I've played it on a couple of different systems in different ways. I guess it's good, but it's a rail shooter like anything else, and I've never been a huge fan of rail shooters. They're fun, but they have to be quick because I get bored of them very easily. Okay, boom, let's just do that and just have some fun with it. Okay, and anything we can do here? Anything? Oh, did we tag him? Excellent, we did. Okay, cool. Anything we could use here? Diamate, Milemate. We could always use some Diamate. Item pack. Mag. Let's feed our Mag while we're at it. Perfect. Okay, guys, I've only got a couple more minutes left in me, unfortunately. I've got to kind of tend to a couple things right here, but let's see if we can at least let our partners know. We'll go back to Pioneer. Hey, guys, I've got to sign off soon. I don't think I'll be able to finish this level, unfortunately. Okay, let's use a telepipe item. Bang, let's go back to Pioneer. Okay, so let's get rid of some of our stuff. Let's go to the Techer. Let's see what we ended up finding, because we did find a handgun, which could be kind of fun. I hear mine waking up, and that's why I got a jet. Busted. Okay, bang, 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 save. Yeah, that's the life for me. Okay, what do we got? A panic handgun. Okay, what can it do? Okay, also has a chance of confusing items. No. Okay, let's try it again. See what they say. Riot handgun. Okay, what can a riot handgun do? Sure, it's a little bit better, I suppose. No, I'm not going to equip it now. Alright. Buy. Sell. Here we go. Okay, armor. Yes. Yes. Okay, anything? Whoops. Good game all. That was a lot of fun. I'll do my best to log in again soon. Okay, let's go back to the bank. We'll drop off our mag. Deposit, etc. Yes, deposit, item. Okay, and let's get back to... Let's get back to the lobby and say our official farewells there. And here we go. Lobby we go. Yeah, so that's kind of what my Dreamcast is looking like. Going back to why the picture quality looks so good, the sound quality looks so good. It's basically the best mod you can do, I think, besides doing the quit game. Yes. Besides doing the either USB GD-ROM or I'd say the mode at this point is probably the best way to go. Just the options you have, the versatility, and the cost. The cost is very comparable to the official like SD and USB GD-ROMs available right now. So you might as well just go mode. All right, so that does it for tonight, guys. Thank you so much for logging in. As you probably guessed, I got to go tend to something there in the back. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I always love hopping on Dreamcast. Hopefully next time we log in, we'll be able to get a full team and maybe we can play that Christmas quest before everything's said and done. That being said, my schedule is pretty flexible between now and then, so I kind of hope to get in. We'll shoot for a Christmas Eve, maybe, if not sooner, and see what we can do. But in the meantime, thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. It's always a lot of fun playing PSO, and maybe we could play a couple. You know what I'd like to do? I'd like to stream Halo, because I just started playing it, and I don't really know a whole ton about it, but it's a real fun game. Or even Portal 2, which I know has been ported to everything, but I was playing a bit of Portal 2 on the Xbox 360. It's like, wow, this is a real fun game. That being said, Dreamcast is where it's at. In terms of streaming, there's not a whole ton of people playing online, so it's at least unique, if anything else. But anyways, if I don't see you between now and then, everybody have a great holiday. Hopefully we'll be on well before then, but we'll see what happens. In the interim, take care, and we'll see you later.